saw LeBron James out there, right? So LeBron is making moves on and off the court, right? He has his school, he's an entrepreneur, he's an awesome basketball player. He is a millennial on the move. We also had the young lady in the pink. Maybe it was a millennial that you didn't necessarily identify with or recognize, but that badass millennial is my daughter, Geraldine Gaines. We also had Kimberly Bryant. Kimberly Bryant is the person who founded Black Girls Who Code. The reality is there are going to be more coding jobs than there are people. So the fact that she is ahead of the game and it's going to help our Black girls go into STEAM professions, it's ideal. And then one other person that I want to point out, it was Austin Brown. And Austin Brown is an agent with CAA, and he actually co-leads the basketball operations piece of CAA. So again, badass millennials. And we want to make sure that the millennials in the room are equipped with as many tools as possible to also become badass. And you know, I can't move on before I talk about that song, Rise Up, right? So Audra Day, she actually wrote that song. She did not intend for it to be like a mantra, but what did it end up being? A mantra, right? She was able to speak at the Democratic National Convention in 2016. And let's just look at some of the words. I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. So we know every day is coming, right? I'll rise up unafraid. I'll rise up and I'll do it 1,000 times again. So that's all we're saying. Rise up every day and do it 1,000 times again, because the reality is you get another chance the next day to do something great. And then the other piece is all we need is hope, and for that we have each other. Again, millennials, people in the room, we all have hope, and we get that hope from each other. You don't have to go anywhere and buy it. Just fellowship with people. Have a group of people. Sisterhood, brotherhood. Just pull together and have some hope. So what I'd like to talk about today is really, again, providing tools to rise up. We have a number of speakers who will go into detail. I'm just going to be providing an overview, but it's about rising up. It's about doing your best. It's about supporting one another and doing it day in and day out. Any questions about what we're going to be doing today? So let me tell you a little bit about myself. I feel like I am a millennial trapped in a baby boomer's body. So, and the reason why I say that is because I actually have worked for a number of companies. So when I was born, people kind of went to a job, they stayed there for 20, 30 years, and they didn't move on. And what I can tell you is, I've worked for Philip Morris USA in Richmond, Virginia, Frito-Lay in Jackson, Mississippi, and then in Dallas, Texas. I worked for a Nortel Networks company, Eris Interactive, in Atlanta, Georgia. I've worked for Kmart before the major downfall. I worked as a vice president of human resources at St. Joe Mercy Oakland Hospital. I ran a HR consulting business for 10 years. And then, decided to go back to corporate. I worked for a chemical specialties company. I worked for Quicken Loans. And now I'm back out partnering with a person doing executive search. So does that sound like a career of a baby boomer? Not at all. It definitely is a baby boomer or a millennial trapped in a baby boomer's body. My daughter says, yeah, right, Mom, but you don't know technology. So I guess she has a point there. I know it just enough to be dangerous, and I can assure you, though, that mistake there had nothing to do with me. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit. I think it's important for course, to kind of set the foundation around the demographics as it relates to baby boomers, to millennials. So, and really, it depends on where you read and who's saying what, but for the most part, let's just say that millennials are about, people were born from about 1980 to 2000, okay? And the other reality is this particular group is the most racially diverse group of folks. So it's unlike the baby boomers where, you were oftentimes the only in the room. Some people still experience that now depending on their level, but the nice thing is that group of young folks, they really are diverse. More Hispanics in that group, more African Americans, more Asians, and, to be perfectly honest, fewer white people. So it was 56% white, as opposed to baby boomers, 73% white. So millennials grew up being inclusive, working and playing with people who are different. So we honestly believe that things will be better as it relates to being inclusive as the years go on. Again, so Beyonce, who runs the world? Girls. That's what Beyonce would say, right? But really and truly, with 75 million people being millennials, guess who's going to be running the world? The millennials, right? 75 million people.